Hey everybody, welcome to the Water Tower Podcast, episode 2. I'm Jay Yoder, alongside the other co-founder of Water Tower Podcast, Nick Milan. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to be notified. We're going to put out a lot of content, especially in the future when maybe some mini docs we'll see, a lot of podcasts, we'll get some interviews going. Hit the alert button, the bell, if you want to get notified, watertowerpodcast.com. Give us a look. We'll put our episodes up there. Eventually we'll have a store going, and check it out. We're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So take a look below. All the information's in the description, and let's kick this off. So Nick Milan, how's your Friday been treating you?
It's fucking Friday, Jay. I'll tell you what. I'm glad it is. Cheers to Friday, my friend. You know what? Even through all this staying at home stuff, Friday still feels good.
It does, right? I feel like it's you almost don't get a break from work. It feels like.
Huh?
Like, have you ever seen? I don't know. I know you stay busy with the kids and doing projects, but was it Black Mirror? There was an episode where they had like riding bikes in this little building for electricity, and that was their life just to survive. They had to provide electricity for the city or something, or the grid. I feel like that. I feel like we've been in a lot, staying inside, and it just feels like, like we're just working, and then we sit there for 2 days and then work. I mean, we're staying busy with working out and exercising and doing creative stuff. But I've been on the TikTok. I want to call it the rush of TikTok. I finally downloaded it. I don't know how the fuck to use it, but I'm excited. But it is so entertaining. It's the hardest I've laughed in a long time. Me and my girl just like for an hour at night go through it. It is so funny, and it's exciting to see all these families, old babies, people about to die, and everything in between, moms and dads and kids, like making these really cool videos, and they're editing. They have all these editing capabilities, and man, your family would love it. You guys would be awesome at it, especially if you're into like video editing, because I don't know how to do it, but they do some amazing stuff, and it is so funny and so cool to see these families just having a blast and being goofy together, because they're all kind of stir crazy, right?
Yeah, right. Well, so you're saying I should check it out?
You should get on it, man, and learn so you can teach me now. But I think you and your kids will like get into it, because there's like challenges, like all kind. Like you'll get it once you start watching it. You'll see some reoccurring themes, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, you know what, my kids, this is probably at the beginning of the year, maybe even late last year, my kids downloaded that app on their phone, and it's TikTok, and they're making videos of themselves, and they're posting it, and my kids are like 12 and 11 at this time. I was like, I don't know, do I really want my kids to be doing this, type of thing. And then so I tell them, I don't even know about TikTok, it's new. Delete it. I don't want you on that until we know what the hell it's all about. Well, I never figured out what the hell it was all about, and now it's like, it's all over the damn place, man. And so now my kids are back on it, and they're doing it. But I should check it out. I should download it and check it out.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, my niece hit me up, and she's like, for my birthday, I want to do this art thing. I saw it on TikTok. I'm like, what the fuck's a TikTok? Stuff, but it's like made for tweens, I guess, but like millennials and boomers who like took it over, I guess. Like
basically Vine. Remember Vine?
Yeah, it reminds me of Snapchat. I got really deep into Snapchat where I started editing the faces. It was like Photoshop almost. And I know Photoshop, so it was fun, but like I would take when I was on the marketing team, I'd walk around San Francisco at the time I was working there. And I'll take a video of pigeons, and then I'll take each one of their pictures, cut it out, and post it to the pigeons' bodies, and just record it. And they would love it. And I'd do tons of random stuff, like like I'd go to there's this naked statue with this like headless woman with boobs, and I'd put my manager's face on the head. And, like it was private, and it deleted after a while, and so it was. It's a good time. So I think TikTok's like another level, though.
Yeah, I'll have to, dude. You know what? A friend of mine was just telling me the same thing, that he finally downloaded it and that he loved it. So I guess I'm gonna have to check it out, Jay. Shit.
Yeah, maybe just create like a master account and then, or like your account and then figure it out. And maybe your kids could use your account or in case you want to watch them. Cause I'm not sure exactly what's going on there, but it seems fun.
Right. But you know, you're right, man. People are doing some interesting things during this shit. You see a lot of those marble races. You see those,
Mm-mm.
and like those you drop like a group of marbles down like this. It's like a I don't know what it's called. It's like a marble thing. You drop your marble in and it goes down and down and down and down and down. And so like having these marble races, and as stupid as it sounds, you got to check these videos out. Dude, I watch it till the end because I want to see which marble finishes first. It's like the only bit of sports we have right now. And it's so ridiculous, but it's so entertaining at the same time. I don't know why I watch those damn videos.
Yeah, like if you could gamble, if you could do whatever, like on marbles, it doesn't matter at this point. It's like just entertainment. It's like something besides the TV is like exciting. But I saw that like Lindsay, another Lindsay guy, Lindsay California guy. That's where we grew up, by the way. But Benny Recon, he's in Scotland right now, getting his master's, and they put the Derby. They made a virtual Derby, I guess, Kentucky Derby or something, maybe something over there in Scotland, and you could bet on it. And I saw him on Instagram, like he posted the video. And it's just like virtual horses, and everyone's betting on it. It's pretty awesome.
What the hell? That's freaking awesome. Yeah, hey, Benny's out there, man. Shit, that guy's making some moves. That guy's been all over the damn place.
Yeah, like we'd hang out in San Francisco, and yeah, he's going from job to job, but really good jobs, like high-paying jobs, and he just like I think he quit or got let go or something, and he just was like, I got a bunch of money saved. I'm just gonna go travel. He had rent control, so yeah, I was like,
Why not?
yeah. So he left for like a couple months, and then got back and was like, I'm gonna move to Scotland, and get my master's. So.
Dude, yeah, he's doing it, man. Good for him. And you know what? Shit, man. After all this craziness is over with, or what does that even mean, Jay? Over with. But we're gonna have to do some traveling. But going back to that, I mean, what the fuck does that mean? I mean, how is this ever gonna be over with, right? I mean, it's never gonna be the same the way we interact. I mean, it might be some time before we even shake hands again or hug again. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel. Yeah, it's what they calling it the new norm, right? And it's is it worth it? Like I know it's worth it for safety and blah blah blah, but maybe that's a topic we could get into. When is giving enough freedoms for provided potential safety? Where do you draw the line? Staying inside, we're not going to work, we're not going here, we're not going to bars or restaurants, we're not going to any type of entertainment. We're basically just working and staying inside if you're doing what you're supposed to do, I guess. And then what does that mean? Like, what kind of life is that? So at what point is it like, oh, now, only two to a household? Or where do you draw the line where you say, no, fuck that. I'd rather die than from COVID-19 than do that.
Well, and you know what? I think you make a good point, Jay, because yeah, you're absolutely right. When it comes to the point of being safe, that's how we always give up our freedoms, right? Is in the name of safety. And so it's interesting that some countries are using tracker apps. So if you have COVID-19, if you've been diagnosed with COVID-19, you have to download this app. And then this app, everyone has this app downloaded, and it tracks your phone so that if I go and visit you at your house, you're going to get a notification in your phone saying, hey, Nick has COVID-19. He's at your house. You should take proper precautions, type of thing.
No.
Right.
So wasn't that South Korea?
You know what? I think it was South Korea, but I think there's a couple different countries that are using that.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome, to be honest with you. I see the problem with it, but I thought it was kind of awesome if this pandemic is what they say it is. That's a good way it's a little worrisome because it's like people getting into your business, and it's a little worse. Gina just told a story, my girlfriend Gina, about back in San Francisco, someone she knew were walking in a neighborhood next to their neighborhood. And I guess she said out loud, like, oh, I never been down this street all the years I lived here. And the neighbor heard that and said, why are you here? Get out of here. And started yelling at him. Like, don't come to our neighborhood. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know. I'm against that. I'm like, as much as it might bug me, I think we talked about last week, like, I'm going to do what I want to do and you do what you want to do. But at the same time, a lot of misinformation going out, a lot of confusion. Really, hearing Trump talk doesn't make me feel better. I don't feel like he even knows what's going on. Maybe I'm wrong, but it's like anyone that's Gavin Newsom. I'm sure, the New York governor. I don't know. No one's really saying something that I'm like, I have a lot of faith in you because everything's changed so much. So I can't judge someone as long as you're not coming up to me and hugging me and spitting on me, then we ain't got no problems. Stay 6 feet away. But if you're not,
right.
I'm not gonna yell at you, man. That's not my place.
Well, and you know what? It's that's kind of where that falls, man, is again, going back to giving up freedoms in the name of safety. It does sound like something that would be good to have. If your neighbor has COVID-19, like, you would want that notification, like, hey, your neighbor has COVID-19, take proper precautions. And, whether my neighbor wants to share that with me or not, maybe they won't. And then maybe I'm exposed to it. But if I have this information, but at the same time, I think it was Edward Snowden was talking about it. And he said, things like this, they're not going to be decommissioned after the pandemic's over, right? I mean, this is going to be in the new updates on all the iPhones and all the Android devices. When you download that update, it'll have this, and it'll just be a reoccurring thing. And they'll just manipulate it into some other kind of tracking system that tracks data so they can sell it to someone somewhere. So definitely, something to think about when because it's a sticky situation, man. In the name of safety, you want to be safe and you want to be aware, but at what cost?
I don't like being told what to do in general. I mean, even if it's for my benefit, it's a bad, stubborn gene I have, but it's getting to the point. Do you know who Tim Kennedy is?
No.
The wild man. He's hunting Hitler, or he was hunting Hitler. He had a show on History Channel called Hunting Hitler, where they assumed that Hitler got away and got to Argentina, and they followed his path and looked for evidence. There's all these documents released. But anyways, he was a UFC fighter. He's Special Forces, Army. While he was fighting the UFC, he would only fight every once in a while. Just a total badass guy, total American gun-ho badass, but like a motherfucker, that will. He's not just a guy with a beer belly and a Trump sign. Like I don't know if he supports Trump, but he's jacked and he has no excuses, and he says how he feels. But
is he in Michigan right now?
I don't know why.
Oh, all that protesting going on in Michigan.
Oh, I don't know.
You haven't heard about that?
Oh man, like I said, I've been kind of dead this week.
Oh my goodness, Jay, this is crazy, man. There's a bunch of MAGA right-leaning Trump supporters are protesting in Michigan big time. Like, they have, blocking streets, and actually they're blocking hospitals. They're right in front of the hospital protesting, saying that they want their cities opened back up, and that they want the right to be infected with COVID-19. So it's, man. So they've been protesting and causing a big scene out there, and actually a lot of doctors and stuff have been coming out saying, just pissed because they're not letting the ambulances in and out, and it's just been a nightmare out there. So interesting, man. Fucking crazy. These guys, they're something else.
I don't know. I'm not ever the one to like, let's go down to the corner and do it. I don't know. I've never been that kind of like community rally guy. Like, even like for something good, I'm just not that guy. Like, I've had this conversation a lot in San Francisco, getting yelled at by white women about being racist, But it's like, come on, dude, get a life. Like, what are you doing? You're blocking ambulances during a pandemic, like with a MAGA hat. Like, I don't care what side you're on. Come on, dude. Like, stop it. Just stop being a douche. Like, knock it off.
Right, right. Yeah, you can see like Neil deGrasse out there, like, hey, come on, listen, man. This is science, and I mean, we got to get through.
Hey, he's a shill, bro. I don't know. It's crazy, but that Tim Kennedy guy, he's pretty awesome. I'm biased towards him because he's a UFC fighter, but he posts on Instagram like all these memes. I don't know if he's fact checked them. I would assume he did, but he has like, what was it, like George Washington or someone, like during the Revolutionary War we had some disease going around being a pussy, like all these things, and then like a lot about like Hitler taking away, because it was a slow takeaway. I hate using the Hitler argument, by the way, because everyone has always used the Hitler argument for everything they don't like. Obama, I've seen compared to Hitler, Bush, Trump, everyone's been compared to Hitler. Stop it. But
Right.
that was the thing. They slowly took away the Jews' rights, right? You can't work on these days. You can't buy this, can't buy that. We need to move you out to the ghettos. You only take a certain amount of luggage. And once you're in the ghetto, you're done because you're basically in a prison town. And then
Right.
when you go on this train, it just dwindled down. So I think that's what he's getting at. Do I think that's happening? No. But would I be naive enough not to even think about it? No, I'm thinking about it. Like, I'm thinking about it.
Hey, you can't put anything past anyone, man. I mean, look at all these conspiracies that were conspiracies, right, in the 70s, and even before that in the 60s that ended up being true, like Watergate and just so many things have been exposed. And I mean, more recently, Edward Snowden exposing the NSA surveillance, and that was, conspiracy. So I don't know, a lot of crazy shit going out about COVID-19 as far as conspiracies. Weapon, biotech lab in Wuhan, and how it was developed, and then of course we what we understand is it was the bat, some guy ate a bat and crazy motherfucker. But who the fuck knows, man? I mean, we will probably never find out, the real truth, but I guess we'll just have to go with what they tell us. But I mean, regardless, it's fucking crazy, Jay. As soon as I found out the NBA closed down, like, I was at a bar, I was at a mixer, and the Kings are playing the Pelicans. They're set to play the Pelicans, both fighting for the number 8 seed or number 9 seed in the Western Conference, and they got to get to the 8th seed to make the playoffs. And this was a huge game, man, huge game. So I'm at this bar, me and my wife, and I'm thinking, and and the bar's right down the street from the Golden One Center, and so I'm like, it's a huge game. And then I'm like, I'm thinking about going. So we're at the bar, the TVs are on, and it says, this might be the last game that the NBA plays with fans in attendance, right? And they just announced that the Golden State Warriors are playing with no fans the very next day. And so I said, oh shit, this might be the last time we get to see the Kings play. So I said, shit, let's go. We're going. We're ordering our last drinks, we're getting ready to go. Not even 10 minutes later, they just canceled the whole game. Right? So now it's like NBA cancels this game. And then like 10 minutes after that, they say the NBA is just canceled indefinitely. And it was just crazy, man. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, what the fuck just happened right now? And it was crazy at first, man. It's definitely stirred up a lot of crazy shit. I mean, definitely bringing out some old stuff, old political stuff. And now, now it's being used for political swaying of sorts.
Yeah, what's not used to be swayed? What's not one way or the other? Something's, there is always two sides to everything. Like,
right.
You can argue everything. Like, not that you believe it, but you've heard the argument before of, whatever. But it's like going back on the sports thing, like the UFC, man. Like, I want to say that I like Dana White. I like what he was trying to do. He's got more money than he needs. I don't know if you know the Dana White story, getting in the UFC. I think they broke even at like 40 million. You know, it didn't look good, and they went 40 million down, and then they had to build it back up to make the first dollar, I believe. And I think they sold for like 400 million after like 20 years or something. It's amazing. So he's a guy that used to work in a boxing gym. He's not like some fucking Harvard business grad, you know. So he had help from the Fertitas, I know. But anyways, he's a go-getter. He's a Trump supporter, I know, because Trump let him, back in the day when no one wanted him to do events, Trump gave him the casinos to do it. So, but he's like, look, he was talking to Tyson on podcast. He's like, look, I want to come up with a solution how to make life exist with this. Like, I don't want to just sit at home and hide. Like, let's come up with solutions. Let's get things going. And I was like, oh, that's why he's rich. He's just like, oh, the COVID. I guess I'll sit at home and drink a beer. He's like, fuck, okay, I have a business. I could quit. I have all the money in the world, but let me figure out how to do this. He's apparently got a private island in the Caribbean.
Of course.
And he wasn't going to tell anyone where it was. He was going to fly Khabib and Tony Ferguson. Nick, do you know the Khabib Tony Ferguson history?
I know Tony Ferguson is, but no, I don't know the history. I know he's a fucking crazy motherfucker.
Yeah, Tony Ferguson is this mad, crazy Mexican, hits poles with his elbows, hanging out with Eddie Bravo, doing 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. Exciting fighter, don't give a fuck, has a great record. And then Khabib, undefeated, who's just a wrestler that will put you on the ground and punch you. He's from, Dagestan, I believe, in gangster. You think it's gangster in LA, Dagestan's like even it's another level. And so they were supposed to fight 5 times. Cancel. Random,
wow.
Like a cursed fight. So like this fight's set up, and we're like, yeah, then COVID happens. And I think they're the ones to blame for COVID-19, to be honest with you. That's how cursed they are. I think they started this by trying to fight each other. But anyways, for an MMA fan, this was like, oh, this is it. And, it canceled it, but Dana White tried everything. And apparently, Nick, Tahachi Palace Casino in Lemoore, California was going to host it.
What?
That was the rumor that it got leaked in New York that it was going to be in the motherfucking area because it was like in the middle of nowhere. And plus, Tahachi Palace is like, not many people know this, it's MMA gold. I used to go there as a kid watching fights when, that's where they put on all the fights because no one wanted to put on the fights because it was illegal or dangerous or just risky. And yeah, Tahachi Palace has it still has amateur fights there. It's an amazing place.
Yeah, right.
They're gonna have it there, dude. In our backyard, all the Lindsay people. That's huge. But
wow.
It's canceled, man. Disney and ESPN came in and canceled it. And ESPN has agreements with UFC to put on fights through them, and Disney owns 80% of ESPN because they bought out a different company that owned it.
Wow.
So the bigger up said, "Hey, Dana White, sit down. You think you're rich? You think you're powerful? Sit down."
Yeah, you ain't got this kind of power. Wow, man. Yeah, it's a monopoly, man. It's crazy. What about Florida saying that wrestling is an essential business?
I saw that. Go Florida, man. Go Florida. Go.
Hey, Florida's on another level, bro. Damn.
You know what? Florida might as well be freaking Ethiopia. I don't know those people. I don't know what they're like. I think they're a different kind. And I can't say what's essential to them because their culture is so different.
Right. Maybe it is essential to them. Damn.
Immigrants in different countries. The interesting thing is, I used to work I worked at not so straight bar. I was going through some rough times. I moved back from Europe. I was in the Netherlands, and I moved to Oakland, and I had to break up with a girlfriend. She kind of just dumped me, and I was left with all the bills because since she was a foreigner, it was all my name, but I couldn't afford it. I was unemployed. I was just paying half of my savings and the unemployment check. So, anyways, she dumped me. I ended up going back to Visalia, California, near Lindsay. Then my mom, it's a horrible time in my life. It was just traveling around the world, just having the time of my life to just. So had no car, no money, no job in the Central Valley. Which if you don't have a car, you can't get anywhere. 100 degrees, like hay in life. And then Tyler called me and said, "We got a bar. Why don't you come up?" So I go up, and I knew what kind of bar it was. It was in San Francisco. We grew up a little different, but like went to San Francisco, and it was an ex-gay bar that opened its doors to everybody. Karaoke bar called the Mint California. Big shout out to the Mint, or the Mint Karaoke Bar, not California. Sorry. But anyways, yeah, just fucking worked there and ended up getting asked because I bought an old ass Isuzu Rodeo SUV from the 90s. And the guys next door were attached. It was a sushi bar. And they asked me if I would do deliveries for them because they're thinking about signing up for Grubhub. It just started and they wanted to like see if they could do it on their own first. Like, yeah, man, pay me cash. So like, all right. So I was around the bar delivering sushi with a business degree. And there's no state. But so I'm the guy I still follow on Facebook, he's Chinese, like straight from China, like American dream, started a successful sushi business and has a Mercedes and, but still struggling because it's expensive in San Francisco.
Right.
Rambling. He posts a lot on Facebook about like stuff happening in the Chinese community. And he's been posting a lot of videos of them during this COVID-19 getting robbed, beat up, hate crimes.
Oh my.
A lot of Chinese people go around and get cans. That like if you live in San Francisco, like the old Chinese people get all the cans and they're getting jumped by other homeless people. And if you're in San Francisco, you know how many homeless people there are. Getting jumped by other homeless people to take the cans. So they're collecting them. And then homeless people come and jack them.
Wow.
But at the same time, China is apparently, I haven't fact checked this, being racist to African immigrants and not allowing them to go to stores, evicting them. You can't rent to African people. If you're white, somehow you can still get in because they're saying it's a foreigner thing. But there's a video today, at least, of a white lady walking around the store and the black lady being like, no. A Nigerian lady, I believe, spoke perfect Mandarin, I guess, apparently. Had her green card on her phone. They wouldn't let her in. They're saying spreading it or something. Who knows? But it's like, woo, shit's getting real. Shit's getting real.
Damn,
so, on one side, American and Chinese people are getting hate crimes. On the other side, they're just picking another target.
Hey, we think we got it bad, man. There's some other places that are pretty fucked up.
Yeah, it's kind of like, would you rather be fucked by your own country or someone else's country who doesn't give a fuck about you at all?
Right.
Your country, they have to act like they give a fuck about you because you pay them, But other countries,
right. Dude, interesting. Yeah, man. And shit, I can't stress enough. Like, it all boils down to like just helping your community out, And easier done in California. It's mostly liberal state, but or at least left leaning. But shoot, man, small businesses, going to your small businesses, supporting small businesses, going, both you and I went to a small little pub today to buy some brew. And that's what we got to do. That's what we got to do, man. I don't know about forcing the economy open, man. I've been hearing a lot about, certain people wanting to open the economy earlier than expected. But I don't know. Is this something we really want to rush?
I said the same thing about the shutdown. Is this something we should? I don't know what's going on. Is this what we should do? I'm asking the same thing. Should we open I don't know. There's a time to open. I don't know. I don't know, man. I work remote, so I have the benefit of not having to stress out about that because I'm going to stay home no matter what and just see what the fuck happens. But it does seem a bit early if the alarm bells are real. It seems like pretty early, but is it because they want the economy to bump up, or is it because Trump wants to tell the governors, like, I'm in power? Like, don't get it twisted.
Right. Hey, there's another thing, right? Shit, Trump's been coming out pretty aggressive, man. And, trying to shove his way to the front of the line and as far as calling the shots. That's interesting, man. He's causing some shit.
But let's give a little stone thought here. Has Trump ever not been the guy to cut in front of the line? Isn't that his whole platform of running? Isn't that what he does every day of every time, every year? You know, that since he's won, since he's ran, that's what he does. So what did someone entice him knowing he would do this? That's what I always wonder. I try to get, Eddie Bravo 3D chess, conspiracy theorist, I guess. But it's like, would Gavin Newsom, who's a liberal, and Cumio, both obviously not on the Trump side, they're kind of like poking the bear, knowing what he's going to do. Like if you're playing chess and you know what the player's going to do and you know how to make him react, that's right. A strong asset to have. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking this, but I always was wondering like, well, of course Trump would say that, and they knew he would say that because they're smart, they're not stupid. So like, I don't know.
Yeah, game of chess. Yeah, you're right, man. And yeah, it is interesting. I mean, they're trying to formulate their own plans to reopen and a schedule, for their own states. Interesting, man. Trump's getting pissed. He don't like that.
Did he say like bullshit or something?
I don't remember. I don't know, but he's pissed. I was listening to Trump's daily, daily briefings, right? I was listening probably like the first 4 or 5 I listened to. And then they just started getting repetitive, and then I can just keep updated on some other platform with just getting the numbers and stuff after a while. But then I started hearing about, journalists asking him some pretty damn deep questions and him getting heated about it. And so I started watching these again. And so I watched a couple and then I went and read some articles. So interesting, man. I read a Fox News article, right? Well, first I'll start with the articles that I read. I read a Fox News article and then I read a Guardian article. So the Fox News article was basically
all just pictures.
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, dude, I mean, it basically took the information that they had, and saying, Trump is not against letting governors make their own decision, but he knows he's the ultimate authority and. He's staying strong on that, and he knows when to open he knows when to open the economy back up, and basically just like kind of flowing with what Trump's speech was, right? And so then I scrolled down Facebook a little bit, and I find the Guardian article that's on the same exact speech from that morning, and I read the Guardian article. Guardian article takes that same information and then turns it and says, Trump's crazy. He's, telling the governors that he has full authority and he can, he can open up the economy when he wants. That's absolutely not true. Going against the Constitution. And so 2 pretty much polar discussions or points on the same information. Like just crazy how media can spin. They can spin it however they want, right? I mean, I think you referred it to. What did you refer that to earlier, Jay? We had a conversation.
It's like a Bible verse. There's a verse.
Right.
You got 2 pastors, or maybe atheist and a pastor, or a historian and a pastor, or whoever, like both giving you 2 different meanings of that verse because it's vague, and that applies to also the Constitution. That's where you get the left and the right, and again, just get a little weird on you. Polar opposites is possibly like what the Freemasons base their things off, is that like God kind of lies somewhere in between the triangle. You have this male, female energy, blah, blah, blah. I won't go too crazy, but there seems to always be, it's like the yin yang. There's always the right and the left. There's the good, the bad, the good. It doesn't matter. Raiders, Niners, Catholic, Muslim, atheist, it really doesn't matter. It seems like people are always going to dig their heels on one end or the other. Is that meant to be? Is that natural? I don't know. But the news is no different. The right and left news is no different. I don't know what I am anymore. I'm currently registered as a Democrat. I've been registered as a Republican. I liked Andrew Yang. He dropped out. Followed Biden. What's going on? Bernie Sanders dropped out, and he's saying Biden's the guy. Like the rich white guy was the enemy. Now he's on the Democrat side as well with sexual assault counts as well. So it's like, how do you guys really believe in these two sides? Can you make your own side? Can you see what's going on? Because it's all bullshit.
Yeah, you know what, dude? Chris Rock had a great fucking a skit, man, and it was exactly about this. And it was, anyone who makes their mind up before they hear the argument is a fucking fool. It's like, if you're a Republican, that means your mind's already made up. Whatever the discussion is, you already know what your mind is made up for. You already know what your decision is.
Yeah.
If you're on the left, it's the same thing. And he's saying, like, no decent person is one thing. Like, you have to hear it out, let it simmer for a little bit, and then make a choice, right? And then there's joke, of course. You got to have a joke, Chris Rock. And it's like, some things I'm liberal about, some things I'm conservative about, right? I'm liberal about prostitution. I'm conservative about drugs, right? And I'm sure I butchered the shit out of that joke, but it is, man. We're formulating our opinions before we even know what the fuck's going on by pretty much joining this gang, Republican, Democrat. But speaking of Andrew Yang, shit, we would have all had dollars in our pockets right now if he was still going.
Well, was a Democratic congressman is trying. Andrew Yang was going to say $1,000 a month, I believe. It seems like so long ago, and it wasn't. So much.
Right.
I can't believe I was so focused on elections when COVID-19 was right around the corner. But I think it's going to be $1,000 a month, and I'm for it. Like, UBI needs to happen. I used to be against it. Eddie Huang, I don't know if you know who he is.
No.
I can't say his name very proper. Eddie Huang. I forget. I don't know how to pronounce last name. That's Huang, but he's the man, and he worked on Vice for a while. But he's on the Joe Rogan show, and he brought up to Joe Rogan. And Joe Rogan's kind of a liberal in a lot of ways, but I think he's conservative in the way you work and you get payback in return for the amount.
Right.
Amount
totally. Shit. Sorry. Hold on. Time out. Cool. All right. Go ahead.
Well, the amount he wants to suffer. So it's like they argued it, they debated, and Eddie planted the seed in Joe's brain because now Joe has talked really different and promoted Andrew Yang on his podcast. And as long as Bernie and Gabbard, but now there's a $2,000 bill trying to give $2,000 a month to each.
Right.
And I'm like, that's getting a little too high. Like, I'm starting to get uncomfortable and stressed out because, but at the same time, I'm like, is it? I don't know. We all know.
I think that's temporary though, right? I mean, that would be until the economy opens back up. But I think Andrew Yang's was all the time, no matter what. If you're below a certain income bracket, you're getting $1,000 or whatever, a month.
Whether you're the American-born guy on the street, he'll have to sign away welfare, or whatever, if he's on it, or he gets a percentage. Or if you're Bill Gates, you get offered $1,000 a month because he sees it as being Americans part of a big business in the world. And that you should be a shareholder and get your fair share. And everyone's a fair shareholder in his eyes because they're Americans. And everyone's
and I mean, let's talk about that. I mean, I think most people, when they hear, not like it really matters because Andrew Yang's out of it and that shit would never happen. But I think it's worth a discussion. If I think most people would say, okay, why are you going to give everyone $1,000? If you give $1,000 to a crackhead, he's going to go buy a bunch of crack. Give $1,000 to this guy, he's going to go buy a bunch of booze and drugs and then blow it, right? And I think, there's validity to some of that. But at the same time, I think, those same people that might go blow it the first time, maybe even the first couple times, will eventually realize at some point that they got to live off of this. This is being given to them so they can live somewhat, at least of a decent life. I don't know if you can call that a decent life, but I mean, you can make it work, right? I mean, if you had $1,000, you joined up with a few people, got a little spot. I think for the most part, it'll work because then people, and it's been proven to work actually in other countries. I just read a book a couple years back about a country in Africa that used that same method. and they've been doing it for over 10 years. It's working great.
Yeah, it's in any part of society is always going to have your abusers, your thugs, your criminals, organized crime, your mob, your government, your normal citizen. Like that's just part of it. Your racist, like that's another argument, but like it's kind of like I always say that sometimes I wonder if racism will always exist because it's part of us. And I used to think differently when I was young and had light in my eyes, and maybe I'm jaded now, but I hope it ends. But a part of me thinks like, oh, it's one of those things that might always be here. So like, are all the bad stuff always going to be here? We have improved as humans, but like, well, when we die, racism will still be around. I guarantee it.
Right. Oh, dude, absolutely.
My kids,
Interesting.
because we see generations. Like I said, like I kind of thought our generation would give up the right and left bullshit. And no, we just inherited it into social media and blew it up even crazier. And I really thought that shit was over with us. And I realize it's way more powerful than any lifespan. It started before I was born, and it'll be it'll be around way after I die, if not forever.
Dude,
so
I think you're right.
I don't know. You're a Mexican guy that grew up in the same town I grew up in. I'm a white dude. I'm sure, like, I knew some people that watch Fox News all day, every day, go to work, come home, watch Fox News, weekends, Fox News, hearing the Fox News comes in and then comes out the mouth when they're in a group. And then if there's other people that watch Fox News, they all join in together, and it's like a big hoorah. And then that one other person, which was me usually, came in and was like, fuck, that was stupid. Like, it was like not being a part of a tribe, but it's also gross that to see it be passed down to our generation. It's gross. And
you know what, man? It's interesting because Fox News is the free channel, right? I mean, if you can't afford cable and you just got bunny ears sticking out of your TV, or you got some kind of antenna, you're getting Fox News. That's what you're watching. So, dude, I remember growing up, that's all you used to watch, right? You used to look forward to, whatever their morning show was, and Kobe Sideropoulos would go to your school and on career day and weatherman and show you how you can be a weatherman for Fox News. And like, it was just a thing to watch, I think, especially down in the Central Valley. But
well, who was the dude? Fuck it, we'll go live. He has that famous quote, fuck it, we'll go live. He was a crazy Republican guy when going through high school, promoted the Iraq War a lot. He's too old now, or some sexual assault happened, he disappeared. He was the old Hannity, but even crazier. He's a big Fox guy. So he was a guy that used to go after Snoop Dogg and all the rappers for cussing. He was like, you're being the wrong person. You need to be a good. He was just argumentative and trying to set people up, and like just a freaking tool. And like, I know some people in my family that were like, oh, I like talk shit about him openly because I'm thinking, oh, everyone knows this guy's full of shit. And then like people are like, no, I agree with him. I'm like, dude, you're fucking smart. Wait, what? Am I dumb? Maybe I'm dumb. Fuck, you're smart and you're like, I watch him every day, and I was like, and someone dared me to say that, and I was like, oh, I love you. Please don't, just like, walk out. She's like, what? You don't like him? Like, but it was that you're in that area, so that's your world, and you don't think about MSNBC. Expose yourself to everything and make up your own mind. But so anyways, he was anti-cussing, and this clip came out from his earlier career of him like having a little anger. Apparently he's a huge asshole, but I'm gonna try to share it, okay?
All right, yeah, let's check it out. What's his name?
Bill O'Reilly is his name. This is Bill O'Reilly.
Oh.
Bill O'Reilly. Fuck Bill O'Reilly, but this is him. He was anti-cussing for all the rappers, but this video surfaced of him. It's one of my favorite videos. So let's go.
Must be a Will Smith fan.
Fucking thing. We'll do it live. Fuck it. Do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Right?
I've never seen that.
Thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Yeah.
We'll do it live. Fuck.
That was like the same guy telling Snoop Dogg that he shouldn't, shouldn't cuss and he's bad for society and blah 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 blah. And that's him.
Dude, well, I mean, Fox News, didn't he get sued or something like that? Like, wasn't he in the news about some like sexual assault or something?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what ended his career. Is that he did something like that and. Disappeared. We haven't heard from him. No, Hannity's real big, I know, but I kind of miss him. I kind of miss old Bill O'Reilly. He was fun to watch, and him and Jon Stewart had a little fun things. Jon Stewart's on the left, and they kind of got along a little bit. But as far as like the right and left, like, sorry, it's like a sore spot for me. My whole life, I've been told I'm right and left by different people, that are deep in the right and left. It's like, what am I? How can you categorize me? But I'm going to quote the famous Groucho Marx. You know the Marx Brothers?
I don't know. Probably not.
They were like three brothers, the Marx Brothers, that were in acting as in comedy, I think before the Three Stooges, around the same time. But Groucho Marx had a great, they're clever, crazy guys, but he had a great quote, says, I refuse to join any club that would have me for a member. If you're gonna allow me to be in your club, something's fucked up with you already. Like, like the fact that you're letting me walk in and just be a part of this, like, for it, like, there's something wrong with you. You'll take anybody.
You don't even know me.
Yeah, but I love that quote. But yeah, I'm just, the right and left is, I don't know. I've been trying to stay away from it. It's hard, but I get, I know Trump got hit up the New York Times about shutting down the country too early and ruining this and ruining that. And now they're saying, why didn't you start earlier? Maybe I'm getting the wrong information, but like, come on, like, that's pretty fucked up, like, come on, you're going to burn the guy no matter what. And now you're contradicting yourself, something that you as a journalist put out there from a publication.
Right.
I know Trump does the same thing to himself, but it's just like, quit fighting for a side that is wrong, just like the other side, and start admitting when the other one's right and the other one's wrong, and you'll gain more respect.
Well, and I don't even think it's a matter of right and wrong. I think it's a matter of just put out what's there, right? Because I think especially what we're seeing a lot, definitely a bunch of bashing, dude, from every direction, because what we're seeing is everybody made the mistake of calling it not so serious, right? The news conglomerates, Trump himself, the administration. I mean, everybody was saying, no, it's not as serious. And probably, I don't know about the WHO, I wasn't really following the WHO at that time, the World Health Organization, but whatever, it just came late. All that information came late. So everyone was late on it. But I think what, left and right wing media outlets are doing is just using it, just spinning it, using it to spin something, whether it's Trump, whether it's CNN, whether it's Fox, whether it's Guardian, they're using whatever's there to spin it against the opposing team, essentially.
I wonder, I know it's happening for the Republican channels, but I wonder if the left channels have made more money since Trump's become president. Because every time you say that Trump word, I know for a while, when he first won, it was like the best keyword you could have, to get clicks, whether
right.
Good or bad. That's the power of that man, which is kind of scary, but fucking Trump has that power, but
he does, dude.
I guess the best marketer wins.
To be honest, man, I mean, fuck, man, I don't know. It may be too early to talk about it, but I don't want to go too far into it. But, dude, is there a fight with Joe Biden and Trump? Seriously, like,
Trump's gonna eat him up for breakfast, bro. Like, that's like Tyson. That's like Tyson and me. That's like Tyson and me after I've had a few beers and smoked tons of weed. That's what's gonna like. It's almost gonna be entertaining because Tyson was entertaining, but at the same time, it's gonna be like, oh, it's over already? Shit. Oh yeah, Trump's our president again. Okay.
Right.
4 years.
I have a feeling it's gonna happen. And dude, it is entertaining. I think, dude, when was this? Fuck, months ago when we had this conversation, Jay. It's like we're living in a freaking like a TV show. You know, it's like everything's made for theatrics right now. Like you were saying, Pelosi's like walking down with the file and like rips it, you know, and it's like,
yeah, there's like, yeah, we're talking about, oh yeah, that, come on. There was like, when they were going to impeach Trump and they walked down with the forms and all the cameras are there, like it's like a red carpet event. By the way, losers who are holding those cameras, go check out some kid dying in some country somewhere. What are you doing there? Like, they're walking and they know they got their makeup on because they know they're going to be shot. And it's like all presentation. Like, and I was thinking, like, can't you fucking email it? Like,
right.
away from the theater, Nick. The theater. What are you going to show on TV if they just email it? So it's like, it's gross. It's dumb. And then Trump and her, like, what do you like? Not shake her hand. It's just,
right.
These are the leaders of our country. These are the best examples our kids are supposed to look up to.
Right, reality TV right here, dude. Running our country.
It's gross. It's gross.
It really is.
But you know what? Maybe to beat it, you just got to be like Trump. You got to play his game. And I think Biden is trying that. I think he's been trying that. Like, he's been a little like a little angry. And I was like, oh, I remember seeing him in the debates. Like, I watched all the debates. I was heavy into it. But like, he seemed like he was trying to be like, I'm tough. I'm going to put up a fight even against Trump. You know, I'm not scared to like get real, you know. And before it didn't seem like that at all when you ran under Obama, unless I missed something. But
interesting. Well, it's gonna, you know, well, I mean, hey, only time will tell. I mean, along with this whole COVID-19 thing, but it's gonna be an interesting, dude. Talk about 2020 being a fucking historic year, for sure. I mean, this is gonna go in history books.
You know, I was at Walgreens the other day and the cashier was, you know, me and him were shooting the shit. And I just, like, I didn't say it, but I felt like just being like, we're talking about, like, I bought some tequila. We're talking about tequila. And he's trying to be a rapper and we're talking about recording or him recording his stuff. And I just wanted to stop and be like, why are we talking about this? Like, dude, there's a virus going around. Killing apparently. And, like, we're all shut down and the economy's halt. And 2 months ago, we would have never bet money this would happen, or 3 months ago, whatever it was. No way would I have thought this would happen. There's no, like, give me a break. They're going to cancel sports. Give me a break. We're all going to stay inside. The country would bottom up. There's no way that could happen.
Right.
It's,
dude, and it happened.
I don't know. After watching the interview with the WHO and the Taiwan Chinese thing, I obviously hate them. That they're not just a China organization, but guess what? America has been called like the head of the UN, and probably at one time maybe the WHO too. So it's like you can't point at another country you're doing it too, but at the same time, well, let's talk about this. Same time, citizens get stuck in the middle, right? Average guys like me and you get stuck in the middle between government's feuds. So
our people go to war.
Yeah, at work we had you know what Slack is?
What is it?
Slack. It's an instant messaging service. It's really cool for like people at work to message in house. You can add comments and stuff, but you could add GIFs and documents. It's just an easy way. It's like an easier email basically. But there's a general channel where everyone can see in the company, and then you have your departments broken out. Maybe it's locked, so certain people from other departments can't see it. There's a general channel with everyone, and we have a guy from Iran that works with us. And he went on a vacation in Iran last year. And I remember we were talking about it because I would stay late and me and him would have some beers, or another couple of us would all have beers. We were like the crew that hung out. And he was like, I'm going to Iran. And I was like, damn, during Trump days? Like, he's like, got a ban on Iran, doesn't he? Like, he's like, yeah, let me figure it out. So he went, and he's a quiet guy, didn't say anything. And he probably feels awkward with a bunch of Americans talking about this. I don't know, but he's been very talkative on the general channel lately, maybe because he's cooped up in his little apartment in San Francisco or wherever he lives. But he was talking about that, the kind of documents that America would make him fill out and how offensive it was. And it was kind of nice because I know he felt this way, but I've never heard him really like put it out there. And he must feel safe to do it on Slack compared to face. Because I've asked him, but he's an introvert, but he just was like, you had to mark what country you've been to. And it was like, it made no sense, but it was obviously just people we didn't like. And it was like Cuba, Iran, Russia, China. Like there was no,
shit.
it was all Syria. Like it was obvious, like it was like a Trump issue. Like we wanted, and he's like, and talking about how like tons of coders get their code taken offline and because they might be spying with the hacking and stuff. And he's like, it's just like, it's so offensive. That's my home country. And he's like, and the sad thing is, and this is the powerful thing, the sad thing is we're being abused by our own government and foreign governments.
Oh, damn.
Like,
right.
Like my new country, I'm supposed to go somewhere better than Iran. Not that he said that, but he's like, the country could be oppressing there. So I go to another country of opportunity and freedom. And now I'm being oppressed for being from that country that oppresses me. And it's like Cuba with the sanctions. Like who is Fidel hurting or the people hurting? The people are hurting. That's cool.
And we will never even understand it as people of this country. We don't understand that kind of, just, I don't know, what do you call that? I mean,
lucky sperm. A guy by the name of Don Gogniak, I was on semester at sea, and he was the head of it at that time. And he would always say, you should always be grateful to be American. I know some of you don't have the best lives, but you, just by being American compared to the rest of the world, are part of the lucky sperm bank. And the fact that you have food, shelter, education, yes, it might be hard to get whatever, but I forget what percentage of the world used to live on less than $2 a day at the time. I'm sure it's different. This was 2010, but it was over 50% of the world or something lived on less than $2 a day. So just the fact that you could go to a mini mart as a poor kid and buy some jerky, gum, whatever. Not that all kids can, but it's like he was trying to say, like, you're still better off than the kid that hasn't eaten in 2 days, Not that that doesn't happen in America, but it's on a greater scale in other countries, right?
Oh, dude, right. I mean, our poor is nothing compared to someone else's poor, for sure.
But maybe the UBI is that's why we should need it, because we are a badass country. No one should starve here.